Hey friends, it's Jackeline here. In today's video, I'm bringing you my review, 2 eyeshadow looks, swatches, and comparisons on the brand new Huda Beauty Naughty palette. But before we get started, and if you're new here, I hope that you will consider and subscribe to my channel, ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. And now, if you want to see all the details about this new eyeshadow palette from Huda Beauty, then just keep on watching. So yesterday I went to Sephora looking for this palette right here, the Naughty palette by Huda Beauty, which we're going to be reviewing today. But while I was there, this was also available. I'm like, what? The Natasha's Not Trio Chrome palette. So I ended up picking up this one, and I even made kind of like a poll on my Instagram which one you want to see it first, and the majority of you wanted to see this baby first. So I have a review up on this palette right here, so if you are curious to see it, please go ahead, check it out after you watch this video. Just quick sneak peek right here. This is the palette in person. So okay friends, so anyhow, let's go and dive into what you came for, the Naughty palette by Huda Beauty. So this baby right here costs $68. It's now available at Sephora's website, also in Sephora stores, as well as Huda Beauty's website and many other stores around the world. I will be leaving all the details about this palette and my makeup on my description box below. Now this palette is made in Italy and it comes with 18 different shades. So this is how it comes. It has a plastic sleeve, and let's see right here, let's just open it up, and then it does have a 24-month shelf life. So here it is. I also love how the word Naughty right here is raised up. I mean, like, I don't know, I just love to touch it. Feels good. Isn't this so pretty? And by the way, if you're new here, I film in natural light, so hopefully this gives you the best representation on how the palette is looking like. Now it has a clasp closure, and the palette comes with a very nice size mirror. Now one of the eyeshadows right here is broken, so I'm going to try to just keep it as straight as possible. This palette contains a velvety soft matte, 5 high shine metallics, 3 multi-reflective marble creams, 1 hypnotic marble cream, 1 never seen before gloss with encapsulated bronze and berry pearls. This palette is also cruelty-free, talc-free, and gluten-free. So here we go, these are it. I mean, I think everybody is very excited about this shade right here, Slippery. I don't know, I mean, like, it doesn't look as weird as it looked on the promo pictures. It's basically what it looks like, some type of Vaseline with the encapsulated pearls. And then when you see it up close, the pearls, there are different colors. I received mostly, mine's are bronze, and then there's some that they are the berry tone. And then while I was purchasing my palette, the girl that was helping me at Sephora, she actually burst the pearl, one of the pearls of that Slippery shade, and showed me how each of them have a different color. So it's kind of like a surprise factor type of thing. So anyhow friends, so we're gonna jump really quick into swatches and then into the eyeshadow look. And I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. So anyhow, let me get you close and let's get started. Filthy, Passion, Shameless, Please Me, Hypnotic, Hard, Untamed, Irresistible, Flower Power, Rough, Spicy, Arose, Tantric, Naughty, Provocative, Desire, and Juicy. Now for this Slippery shade, I'm gonna swatch it right here with you. It feels kind of like, I mean, glossy, and honestly, I mean, if you're rubbing the pearls, there's not much of a shade in there. I'm just gonna put it right here. I mean, you just see a little bit of a gloss, and here are all the swatches. Okay, I first want to try the shade Slippery here with you, and this is what I'm gonna be using. I know, looks dangerous, right? Well, the girl at Sephora, she used like a little kind of like a spoolie to burst one of these little bubbles right here. So that's what I want to do, just burst one. So let's try to burst I mean, there's one right here that is already kind of like open. Right there, kind of like a bronzy tone. And now that it's nice and burst, I'm going to try it on my eyelid just directly so you can see, because if I apply it on top, I don't think that you're going to be able to see it much, because it's, I mean, ultimately it's just a gloss, right? So I'm taking this kind of pinky bronzy shade. I'm just going to apply it directly on the eyelid. Okay, that's just, I mean, it's not even a high shine gloss. I'm just going to put a little bit more. Okay, there you go. And you know what? It's not super glossy. Like, it doesn't feel uncomfortable or super sticky on the eyelid. Now let's go with one of the berry shades. So I'm gonna just take it from here. Okay, so I have here a little bit of the berry shade with that gloss. And then let's apply it on this eyelid. Okay, now that's a very pretty shade. At the end, it feels kind of more like a cream eyeshadow, not much glossy, and it's not as greasy as Vaseline. It's actually just creamy. Okay friends, so here you have the bronze shade and the berry shade from Slippery Eyeshadow. Okay, so now that I have them burst right here and a little bit more exposed, let me just go ahead and swatch the whole thing again. I mean, when you're mixing them in, you don't get that much of that intensity because you're not picking them out of the pan. You get a little bit more in between tone. And now Huda Beauty, she said that you can use it a little bit as a highlighter. Looks more like a blush though. Scott Barnes number 62 brush and the shade Filthy. And now, if you're new here, I just want to let you know I do not use primer on my eyelids for the purpose of reviewing a product, just because I don't want to give any help to the eyeshadows. I just want to see what are their payoff right away. And I just have a little bit of concealer and setting powder. So let's go again with this shade Filthy. And I'm going to apply it above my crease. Sonia G Mini Booster and the shade Naughty. And I'm taking this shade right here on my outer V, and I'm just gonna diffuse it and then take it a little bit right on my crease. Sonia G Mini Booster and the shade Untamed, and I'm gonna apply it right here on the outer V and just kind of deepen it out. Sonia G Builder Pro and the shade Passion. And I'm going to take this shade and apply it from the inner portion of my eyelid all the way to the middle. Now I'm going to apply it wet with some MAC Fix Plus. That looks amazing. Taking the same shade, and I want to go ahead and just apply it with my finger. BK Beauty 204 brush. I'm taking this shade to my lower lash line. Sonia G Flat Definer and the shade Untamed. And I'm taking this shade and applying it on my lower lash line. The shade right here has such a beautiful purple undertone. It's very pretty. Now let's do another eye look on this eye. And I'm going to go with the shade Hypnotic with the Scott Barnes number 62 brush. And I'm going to take this shade and apply it all over my eyelid. Sonia G Classic Crease and the shade Arouse. And I'm going to take this shade and apply it on my outer third. And whatever is remaining, I'm taking it on my crease. Sonia G Worker Pro and the shade Rough. I'm applying this shade right here on my outer V. Take it a little bit also right here on the crease. Sonia G Mini Booster and the shade Hard. And then I'm taking this shade and applying it on the outer V. From this shade, I'm actually taking mostly the part that has the deepest chocolate kind of shade. Sonia G Builder Pro and the shade Provocative. And I'm going to take this shade and apply it from the inner portion of the eyelid and just taking it to meet the deepest shades. This shade right here has micro glitters. Try it with some MAC Fix Plus. That gave me a lot more payoff. Now I'm gonna go to the same shade and I'm just gonna grab it with my finger. I'm gonna go to the shade Flower Power. This shade looks so beautiful too. Okay, and I'm just gonna apply it right in the middle. Just gonna tap it right there. Now I'm going to the shade Shameless. Shade right here, it looks wet. And I want to apply it right here in the middle of this eye look. Oh, there you go. BK Beauty 204 brush and the shade Rough. And I'm applying it on my lower lash line. Sonia G Flat Definer and the shade Arose. Again to the lower lash line and just smoking it out a little bit more. Sonia G Flat Definer, and I'm gonna go to the shade Hard. And again, I'm trying to get into that deeper side of that shade. And I'm gonna apply it right here on the outer third of my lower lash line. And also right here on my upper lash line. To create kind of like a little mini wing. Refer 03 brush and the shade Shameless. And I'm taking this shade and I'm going to apply it right here on my inner corner. A decent shade, I'm going to apply it right here also on my brow bone. Refer 03 brush and the shade Tantric. And I'm taking it on my inner corner on this side and then here on my brow bone. Okay, my friends, completely done with these two eye looks, and now let's go really quick into comparisons. I really do not feel like I need to swatch all these eyeshadow palettes from Huda Beauty. If you already have seen them online, I mean, I'm gonna show them to you side by side, but I honestly think, okay, let me see. Let's start with these mini Huda Beauty nude palettes. This is Nude Reach. This one right here is gonna give you perhaps, okay, so I have one shade right here that is a complete disaster. This one right here just keeps falling, and I don't like that the eyeshadow just, I don't know, the mirror seems like it's opening and closing too easy. Anyhow, just going back into comparisons. So I think out of all the mini palettes, the mini obsessions, this one right here is the one that has the most similarities. Now the shades are not exactly the same, but you will get very alike looks with this. Very alike looks. Now obviously you will be missing some of these beautiful, like this blue shade right here and other shades on this pan. Now let's go for another Nude Obsessions. That Nude Obsessions in medium, and by the way, I do have reviews on all of these palettes here on my channel, but yeah, I mean, this one right here will give you this part right here of this eyeshadow palette, kind of that kind of neutrally toned with a little bit of terracotta in it. The shades are not repeated shades, but I mean, they are very subtle difference. So if you already have medium and you have Reach, I don't think that you necessarily need this palette. Now, if we go, for example, into the Nude Light, Nude Light has a little bit more of the new nude vibes. You know, it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more pinky, so there's not too much, you know, things that are alike to it. And since we were talking about the new nude, so this one right here is more mauve and more pink, while this Naughty palette is more red, wine tone with a little bit of kind of like warm terracotta tones on the neutral side. But as you can tell, they are not the same, but yet they are, I mean, they are sisters. Definitely they are sisters. And if we go to, for example, the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, this is one of my favorite palettes, and I use this so much. This palette right here, I just love it so much. This one has more gold tones. I mean, it has the pop of pinks, And this is something that we have seen across the board with Huda Beauty. That's her style. She really likes pinks, she really likes reds, she really likes wine colors. So this is kind of like not surprising to me. And then if we go back to some of the first Huda Beauty palettes, then we have these Mauve Obsessions. This right here has a lot. I mean, like, this can be a really actually a good companion to this palette right here, because there's some reddish tones in here that are a little bit more deep, but at the end, I mean, you have again these same very, you know, very similar vibes. So like I was saying, I don't feel really in the need to give you swatches because there's so much similarities. There are no like exact dupes of the shades, but they are very similar. Another thing to be considered right here is that the Obsessions mini palettes, they are made in United States, while the big palettes from Huda Beauty, they are made in Italy. So you will find a difference in formulation. For example, the matte shades from the large palettes, they are a lot more creamy, a lot more smoother. They have more pigmentation and they are a little bit easier to blend. I'm not saying that the mini Obsessions, they are not easy to blend, but they will just take a little bit more time on those shades that are kind of like the deeper shades right there. Now, another thing that I will have to say to give it to Huda is her marble shades. They are stunning. And actually, even this look, the one that I have right here, as soon as I finish it off with a little bit of this shade, it kind of reminds me to what I get from my favorite palette from Pat McGrath, and that's Divine Rose #1. That's the vibe that I have right here. Her Celestial shade, how this shade right here has these micro glitters that are just like exploding. Same thing with this shade right here. As soon as I put it over top of this bluish shade, it kind of like revived that blue shade to the point that right now the combination of both of them, it looks like I have like a multi-chrome, duochrome type of eyeshadow. That's how it looks in person. I mean, honestly, beautiful finish, beautiful formulation. Now, if you were buying this eyeshadow palette because this shade is slippery, I mean, this is not a shade that I will, you know, gravitate towards to a lot, or pretty much, I shouldn't say never, because to me at the end, the way that I apply it today and the way that I kind of like demo it for you, I should be able to apply it if I want to have like one and done eyeshadow. But it's not like this type of eyeshadow that is like, oh wow, this is amazing. It's not like the Charlotte Tilbury Jewel Pots. No, it's nothing like that. In fact, I will say, you know, like to give a good use to that eyeshadow, I will just go ahead, grab a little kind of like, I don't know, toothpick or something, you know, and just, you know, just move them all and burst all these different shades right there and just, you know, bring it into one cream shade. That's my suggestion right there, because otherwise if you just go with your fingers, I mean, you were able to see there's not a lot to do with it, and honestly it's not as glossy as, you know, an editorial glossy finish, which I appreciate though, because a lot of people, they are not gonna be like, oh yeah, I want to have this glossy finish on my eyes. So anyhow, my friends, overall, I think the palette is gorgeous. Do we have these colors in our collection, like these wine red tones? Most likely we do, right? I mean, not exactly the same, but say for example, you know, the Mother Renaissance, Pillow Talk. I mean, there has been so many shadows from Chanel's fall collection, for example. There were red shades right there. I mean, there are many out there, but I think the color story is beautiful. I appreciate that innovation, mostly on the designer aspect. I know some people are like, I just want to see the shade, like how it's going to be on my eyelid. But I think this is fun. This is just kind of like, you know, a surprise factor, because we do have a lot of eyeshadow palettes that they are like, oh, you know, like this is what I should expect to see on my eyelid. This right here is just giving us a little bit of that unexpected vibe, kind of like this shade right here. I was just grabbing a lot more of these deeper shade to deepen out my eye look. Perhaps that's the only thing that I would say I would have liked to see. Maybe a deep brown like this instead of one of these two shades right here. I think perhaps I would have dropped a spicy, and I would have put a little bit, something that it will be a little bit more chocolate. That in fact, talking about chocolate, this eyeshadow palette kind of reminds me to a bonbon, you know, kind of like a, you know, the box of chocolates that you get during like Valentine's Day. I don't know, that's how it reminds me. So yes, it's naughty, it's nice too, it's the naughty girl right here, but I really like it. I really enjoy it, and I will actually recommend it mostly right now that the Sephora Holiday Savings event is going on. For those who are Rouge members, you get 20% off, and I'm pretty sure the day that you're watching these, maybe November 3rd, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's November 3rd. And if so, and if you are a VIB, you should be able to shop right now with 15% off. I will be leaving again all the links on the description box below. And remember, every time that you shop through my links, doesn't cost you anything, but you help right here my channel to grow. And with that little commission that I make, I actually invested back here on my channel to bring you more reviews. So okay, my friends, I hope that you really enjoyed this video, that you found it helpful and informative. And now I would love to know from you, are you planning to get the Naughty palette from Huda Beauty, or you're sad and you're gonna be like, no, I will just wait for the next one? You know what, it will be, I think it will be a fun kind of like gift, like for a sister, like if you know someone that is kind of a little bit on the naughty side, or somebody that is getting married next year. I mean, someone close, right? Perhaps get these for Christmas, you know, naughty or nice. I think it's gonna be a really fun and kind of like a spicy present. Okay, my friends, I look forward to read your comments down below and while you're at it. And if you haven't done so yet, I think you're waiting too long. I think that you should consider and subscribe to my channel, ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, also share with family and friends, and until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day.